Good morning, and welcome to the Boulder Valley Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. I'm Clara Kelly. I use she, her pronouns. I'm joined today by Service Associate Paolo Sparti. Today's music is also provided by me, but also the wonderful Carmen Sandim on piano. Today's tech team is Paula Zimmerman, Charlie Morris, and Deborah Mensch. As I say the welcome words today, I invite those of you on Zoom to shift into gallery mode, if you're not there yet, and scroll through the screens so you can experience the beauty of this congregation. Everybody who's here in person, look around and enjoy the beauty of this congregation. You're all welcome here today. In the beauty of languages, cultures, skin tones, shapes, and sizes, gifts, and challenges that come together in your uniqueness. You're welcome here. In all the ways you experience and express gender, whether it fits inside anybody else's box of that or not, you're welcome here. In the beauty that is who you love and how you love, you are welcome here. In all the ways that you make your living, all the places you are from, you're welcome here. With all of the traditions that inform your spiritual life, you are welcome here today. No matter how long you've been away or how soon you will return, you're welcome here. Whether you come with laughter in your heart or tears, you're welcome here. You're invited to join us with a curious mind, a loving heart, and a willing spirit. We welcome you today. We also acknowledge that the land surrounding us is the stolen territory of the Arapaho people, and many native peoples lived freely on this land for millennia before the arrival of white settlers. We also commit ourselves to being a center for spiritual exploration and justice making, and to anti-racism and anti-oppression work within and beyond our congregation. And hey, if you're new here, we are so glad you found us. We hope that in this community, whether you're with us in person or virtually, that you can experience the warmth and love of this place. Please come back a few times though, because what you see today will not be what you see next week. It's different all the time. So even if you didn't care for today, maybe try it out one more time. You never know. We have lots of opportunities during the week also for social connection and spiritual growth. Folks on Zoom can check out the links in the chat to help you all get connected. Folks who are here in person can stop by the welcome table in our foyer or for fellowship information and our newcomer form, helpful if you want to get in the loop. It's also in the QR code, which is on the back of the hymnal. If you'd like to see a simple order of service for today on your phone, you can hold your phone up right now, get into the photos, hold up your camera, and it'll take you to a website that shows you exactly what we're going to do today. Or you can just be surprised. That's okay too. Everyone on the Zoom is welcome to stay for casual conversation following the service. And same thing if you're here in person. We have coffee hour in the fellowship hall after the service. If you are joining us on Zoom, greet each other in the Zoom chat. Say hey, and if you're a newcomer, let the chat know so they can say hi. We love knowing who's among us. And folks in the sanctuary here, this is your chance. 30 seconds. Say hi to your friends, go.
If you have a chalice at home, you can light it with me as I light our fellowship chalice. So we know where all our chalices are. Please write in the chat, chalice lit in. Please say the words along with me as we light our chalice. We light this chalice for the warmth of love, the light of truth, and the energy of action. And now I'll sing our bowl again, inviting it to draw you deeper into the present moment and this, our beloved community. First They Came by Pastor Martin Niemöller. First they came for the communist, and I did not speak out, because I am not a communist. Then they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out, because I am not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out, because I am not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out, because I am not a Jew. And then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak out for me.
Now we're going to sing, How Could Anyone? Which I'm pretty sure is in the Teal hymnal. Oh, great, 10:53. I was pretty sure, guys. If your body feels like rising to sing this song today, please do. If you feel like resting in it, please rest. With his permission, I'm going to tell you a secret today. My kid is trans. I've been afraid to say so here. In this large gathering of people, some of whom I don't know. That's because every day in this country it becomes riskier and more dangerous to be transgender. And I honestly fear for my son and for my family, so I don't out him more than necessary. But I asked him a few weeks ago whether I should speak today as someone who cares about trans issues or as a parent to a trans kiddo. And he said I should do the latter. And if he can be brave enough for that, then so can I. And I did run this whole thing past him. I'm lucky to live in Colorado, where my son can attend school safely, for now, where he can pursue gender-affirming care, for now. We temporarily had that particular rug pulled out from under us in January when Children's Hospital stopped treating minors for gender-affirming care. And frankly, I have not cried in my life as many times as I did in that month. Moms of teens, parents of teens, we worry. It's like our #1 job. But I get just an extra layer to that stressful cake of parenthood. I don't just worry that my kid will come home safely, I worry that he'll be targeted for his identity. The Human Rights Commission reports that 32 trans people were killed in 2024, the most recent year for which we have data. This includes high schooler Nex, who was murdered in Oklahoma in their high school restroom for being non-binary. But I didn't come here to complain about how hard my life is, because it is nothing compared to what my son and other trans kids face every day. So far this year, just since January, 800 anti-trans bills have been introduced in the United States. So far, 40 of them have passed. 717 are still active, meaning they haven't been yet passed or not passed, and 43 have failed. Here in Colorado, there are 5 anti-trans bills that specifically target youth getting gender-affirming care. This is a backlash because in 2023, Colorado passed SB 23-188, which put in place protections for people coming here to seek reproductive or gender-affirming care. Children from states all around us whose governments deny children gender-affirming care, like Texas, Oklahoma, lots of other ones, are streaming into our state for support and treatment, and a lot of lawmakers in our state really hate that. When I say gender-affirming care, I want you to know what I mean. There are many forms of gender-affirming health care, from talk therapy all the way to surgery, but most teens start with surgery, and then some move on to hormones. Oh, I'm so sorry. They start with talk therapy, and then move on to hormones. I'm so sorry. Not right. Thank you for saying that. If they need medical care, which not all trans teens do. I want to be extremely clear because many right-wing folks are yelling about teens getting surgery, but this is very rarely the case. The current rate of teens getting gender-affirming surgery is 2.1%. And what I mean by gender-affirming surgery is breast reduction or removal, vaginoplasty or phalloplasty. And of those 2%, my own personal guess is most of those would be top surgery or breast reductions. Insurance almost never covers the last 2 for teens, let alone adults. The other thing you might have heard some people worrying about is trans people playing sports. Never in the history of the US has there been so much interest from white men about women's sports. Seriously, I don't know. I can tell you right now that the NCAA, which is the National Association for College Athletics, says there are less than 10 trans college athletes in the United States. Less than 10. Yeah. But by all means, let's create a bunch of legislature saying a trans woman can't change in a locker room with cis women at all of 10 schools. You know what's interesting about that to me is that trans men also exist. No one's yelling about my kid trying out for the football team, not like he is. But trans men also play sports, and no one's worried about their locker room space or them having some kind of unfair advantage in sports. It's almost like the same people who don't see my kid as male, so therefore not a threat. He's invisible to them, which I guess in a way I'm grateful for, but it also makes me mad. Listen, everything makes me mad. I live in the world today, same as all of you. And although this is my particular hill to die on, I know it isn't everybody's, but people are dying. Trans kids take their own lives at a much higher rate than cis kids, and it's not because there's something wrong with them. It's because there's something wrong with the world. Yeah. There's an Alessia Cara song called "No Scars to Your Beautiful" that moves me so much every time I hear the chorus. She sings, "There's a hope that's waiting for you in the dark. You should know you're beautiful just the way you are. And you don't have to change a thing, the world could change its heart. No scars to your beautiful, we're stars and we're beautiful. It's my deepest hope that the world will change its heart for the sake of my child and so many others who just want to live in the world the way that they are.
And now I invite us into our time of community connection, our time of sacred sharing. If you're on Zoom, you'd like to share a joy or concern, please type into the chat window, sending it to everyone, and let us know briefly what is in your heart today. I will read out loud what you share, and Clara will add a stone to our sacred waters on your behalf. If you're in the sanctuary today, you can come up front, share your joy or concern using the microphone, holding it straight out in front of you like a rock star, and add a stone to the waters. Or you can always add a stone in silence.
I forgot that we still need a stone for all the joys and concerns that we hold in our hearts, whether we said them or not, and a stone for the world broken as it is.
This is spirit of community, in which we share and find strength and common purpose. We turn our minds and our hearts towards one another, seeking to bring into our circle of concern all who are ill, those who are in pain, either in body or in spirit, those who are lonely and those who have been wronged. We are part of a web of life that makes us one with all humanity, one with all the universe. We are grateful for the miracle of consciousness that we share and the consciousness that gives us the power to remember, to love, and to care.
Oh, Toto, I'm feeling so sleepy. I think I need to lay down and take a nap in this beautiful poppy field. Don't fall asleep.
Don't sleep. Have courage.
Oh, no.
We do not want those poppies to put you to sleep or the rest of us to sleep.
Okay, everybody. We are entering the last week
of our pledge drive. And we are counting the number of pledges that have come in, and we are waiting for 80 more pledges. So it is very important that all of you not fall asleep at this point in our pledge drive. So, just like Dorothy, don't let these poppies lull you into, what do you call it, soporific? Is that what it is, a soporific? Whatever, don't fall asleep. Keep turning in your pledges, it's very important. We were hoping to end this drive next Sunday. We will, of course, keep collecting pledges until all 80 are in. Thank you.
Each week, we remind ourselves of the abundance of our lives and this community by giving half of our plate away to organizations that share our values. Today, the half plate is for Pink Haven Coalition. It is a collective of organizations and individuals who are committed to trans liberation and joy and to growing community defense, mutual aid, and alternative systems of care for gender-diverse people. All donations are moving directly into the hands of trans-led organizers and being used to support trans and non-binary people in accessing the resources and support they need to survive and thrive. The half plate today is for Pink Haven Coalition. You can donate through text or here in the sanctuary in the offering plate. For the work of this fellowship and the Pink Haven Coalition, we dedicate these offerings. I do not pretend to understand the moral arc of the universe. The arc is a long one. My eye reaches but a little ways. I cannot calculate the curve and complete the figure by the experience of sight, but I can divine it by conscience. And from what I see, I am sure that it bends towards justice. Theodore Parker. That arc is still being bent today. For the last year, I've been somewhat quietly planning to flee my home country. I sent in for a new passport. I began researching places that have good legal protections for transgender people and a social climate of acceptance. I spoke to friends who moved out of the country. And what I found was that some places are legally protective, but the social atmosphere is inhospitable. Other places are friendlier, but they lack legal protections. And the rest, well, some require documents to match, which not everybody can do, visas that they've restricted access to, or flat out do not want people like me. And maybe you're asking yourself, what's this dude got to be scared of? Well, it's true. I'm white. I'm a US citizen and able-bodied enough to do my job. But I'm also queer and transgender. And it's true that most people, when they look at me, they see a man. And that increases my everyday safety. However, when I open my mouth, as you may have noticed, my queerness tends to fall out. My voice is deeper now, yes. But there's something, some little thing, I don't know, maybe it's the cadence, got me. But that tends to out me to people, especially if they cannot see me. And with laws popping up like the one in Odessa, Texas last year, that allows for someone to sue for a minimum of $10,000 for catching a trans person in the restroom. Any sign that I am different puts me in danger of harassment, arrest, and violence. This, my friends, was in the lead up to the election. And everyone predicted that should Trump win, the situation would only get worse for trans people. Now that we're a few months into his administration, we can confirm that indeed it has. In the first days, he signed executive orders stripping us of rights and using hateful language that specifically intended to denigrate and dehumanize us. This administration is dropping all pretense of civility. It is systematically attempting to further oppress all historically marginalized groups. And now I feel compelled to tell you about some really awful things. Some stuff that's particularly difficult to hear. And some people may want to step out of the room. I'm not telling you any of this to shock you or upset you, but because they are real and they are happening. And some of these things require naming. And this list gets progressively more difficult to hear as I will go on. We have seen qualified, intelligent, and competent people losing their jobs because they are women, they are BIPOC, and/or they are queer. They are replaced by completely unqualified loyalists. And we have seen children abused and separated from their families simply because their parents risked everything to give them a better life. And on January 27th, just after the first anti-transgender executive orders rolled out, we saw a non-binary veteran who uses she, her pronouns, Elisa Ray Shoup, hung herself from the top of a VA parking deck in Syracuse, New York, draped in a transgender flag. And then we saw Sam Nordquist, a black transgender man, tortured for over a month, murdered, and then his body dumped in a field. The details of Sam's torture are so horrific, I do not want to go into them here. However, there is one particular that has come to light through the investigation that we need to think very critically about. The perpetrators encouraged their children to take part in the torture. I mention this because it is important for us to resist the urge to console ourselves by believing that such evil is a one-off, or that it is proprietary to a dying generation. I and others fear for our sanity and our safety. This isn't happening at some abstract future date or some speculative time tomorrow or the week after. This is happening here, and it is happening now. These are our coworkers. These are our neighbors. And these are our friends. And these are us. Noma Lear's poem echoes loudly in my head. When they are finished rounding up all the undocumented folks, are they coming for the trans folks? Are they coming for me? And are they coming for you? So in complicated times, it is helpful to have role models. And for many of us, these are in fact complicated times. No human role model is perfect. We are all, in fact, human. We can still take some lessons from what they got right. And you may even vehemently disagree with the way the person I'm going to talk about chooses to respond to the call of his conscience. But the point is not what he did, but that he did something. So I'd like to introduce you to a minister from the early 1800s. His name was Theodore Parker, and he was born in 1810. He grew up on the edge of poverty, and though he could not afford to live on campus and be instructed, he taught himself the Harvard curriculum at home, at a whirlwind pace, mind you, and passed the exams needed to earn a degree. He later earned the money to attend Harvard Divinity School and was ordained a pastor of a church in Massachusetts. He was influenced by transcendentalism and often preached things that were even heretical to Unitarians. Unitarians, of course, being pretty heretical themselves. He was a great believer in social reform. He preached women's rights and abolition. However, he is most known for his work against the fugitive slave law of 1850. For those unfamiliar with it, this law allowed people who had reached free states to be taken back to slavery without any sort of due process. And during a Unitarian ministerial conference in 1851 in Boston, Parker describes his congregation and the lengths he is willing to go to protect them. I have within my church black men, fugitive slaves. They are the crown of my apostleship. They are the seal of my ministry. It becomes me to look after their bodies in order to save their souls. This law has brought us into the most intimate connection with the sin of slavery. I have been obliged to take my own parishioners into my house to keep them out of the clutches of the kidnapper. And yes, gentlemen, I have been obliged to do that. And then to keep my doors guarded by day and by night. Yea, I have had to arm myself. I have written my sermons with a pistol in my desk, loaded and ready for action. Yea, with a drawn sword within reach of my right hand. Now, at the beginning of this quote, Parker lifts phrasing from the writings of Christianity's St. Paul to sing the praises of these men in his congregation. He obviously cares for them greatly and for their safety. He has gone to extreme lengths to protect them. It is important to pause here for a moment and ask ourselves if he truly values them. Can we protect people's bodies because we see and cherish the whole person? Because this life here and now requires a body. And is he participating in white saviorism? I would say with pretty high confidence that yes, he was. And we, as Unitarian Universalists and as a wider culture, continue to do harm because of our own implicit biases. These are biases that we don't even know we have. And sometimes, with even the best of intentions, we still manage to do harm. Sometimes we ask questions that don't seem problematic to us, but come across as insensitive and or rude to the people we are talking to. And sometimes we're so afraid, or we're too afraid to ask anything for fear of getting it wrong. I get it. I do this too. And here's a general rule. It's to think about what would be polite to say to a perfect stranger, any perfect stranger. And there's another way that a lot of people talk about. Is it something you'd ask your grandmother? Then the idea is to think critically about your question. And if it's polite to ask grandma or a complete stranger, then it's fine to ask. Now, beloveds, you care. I know you do. You have shown that you care with the trans chevron rainbow flags everywhere. The love and support that you have shown me, an openly transgender man, for the past 6 years. Running into other members of this congregation at protest is evidence of that love. And these are all important actions, and it is important we keep them up for as long as we need to. However, I do want to ask you to seriously consider, what else are you willing to do? What other evidence can you show of your liberal faith? Are you willing to house people who are fleeing unsafe states? Are you willing to donate to organizations helping to relocate people? Are you willing to obtain medication for those that need it but are banned from it? And are we willing to open our doors to people for rest and maybe a shower while they're relocating? Parker seemed at least willing to arm himself in order to stop slave catchers from taking people back to bondage. And to quote Reverend Parker, "You cannot trust a people who will keep a law because it is law. Nor need we distrust a people who will keep only a law that is just." So I ask you now, what more are you willing to do? And how bad does it need to get before you're willing to do it?
So I used to sing this song to my baby when he used to still let me sing him lullabies. Everything Possible is a song you may have heard just as a regular song, but it is also in our hymnal, and it is such an affirming song. I hope all of us will think about that we can still be anyone we want to be, and everything is possible. I also want to mention this song was written in the 80s, and although it is very gay pride forward, it's also kind of gendered. So if these gendered words don't fit for you, throw them aside. It is number 1019 in the hymnal. It's also up here. If your body feels like standing, then please stand. If not, don't worry about it. We've cleared off the table, the leftovers saved, washed the dishes and put them away. I've told you a story, tucked you in tight at the end of your knockabout day. As the moon sets its sails to carry you to sleep over the midnight sea, I will sing Ah, that's me. No, you extinguish, I'll say it. We practiced, I promise. So we're going to extinguish this chalice, but not the warmth of love, or the light of truth, or the energy of action. These we carry in our hearts until we meet again. Did it go out? Good job. Nice. I didn't write a benediction, but I still have one for you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Let's go out into the world that needs us so badly and give the love and acceptance and friendship and kindness that's missing. And let's also be bold enough to speak up when we hear injustice and when we hear discrimination. I think we're strong enough to do both. Amen. Keith Seawright, come on up. It is your turn.
Good morning. I'm Keith Seawright. I'm the board secretary. My pronouns are he, him. It's hard to do the announcements after that service, but I've got 5 for you, and I'll run through those. We will be holding a session this week to teach people how to complete family preparedness packets for immigrants in need, or for people who want to help others complete the packets. We will have packets available in Spanish, Pashto, and English, and have Spanish translators available during the session. We're not announcing the date and time for security reasons. If you would like to participate, please contact Bob Broadus at the email info@boulderbasic.org. I think Bob's here. You can talk to him after the service as well. Next Sunday, April 6th, will be our annual Music Sunday service, Songs of Hope and Resilience, featuring the combined efforts of our fellowship choir and the Unitarian Universalist Church of Boulder's chancel choir. And the music continues after the service, here in the sanctuary or outdoors if the weather is permitting, with a special free performance by the 6-piece Zimbabwean marimba band, and I may not pronounce this right, Chapungu, thank you, beginning at 11:45. We hope to see you there. The transition team is sponsoring a forum on Sunday, April 13th, 11:30 to 12:30 in the sanctuary. Please note that this is a corrected day and time. Join us as Reverend Barbara, our interim minister, talks about the competencies and requirements of today's UU ministers. She will also share what ministerial candidates are looking for in a congregation they might serve. This is an important next step as we approach a ministerial search. Childcare is provided, and bring a snack if you like. Our Boulder Valley concert series concludes its third season on Friday, April 25th at 7:30 p.m. with a jazz concert by Carmen Sandim and friends, featuring mostly her own original compositions. We can't wait to have Carmen back center dais again. Tickets will go on sale this week. Check Connections Weekly, our website, our info@emails for more details. And the last announcement, today's Inquirer series will be here in the sanctuary after the service, and the topic today is the Caring Council. So please come to learn more. And that's the end of the announcements, so please stay for our closing music.